Welcome to Real Estate 360 with real estate expert Kenn Renner. Ken, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Sandy.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year, one most wonderful time of the year.
How was your 2025 on the real estate
2025
side?
was I can't complain compared to what the rest of the market's doing, but it wasn't as my best year, but it was a good year.
Yeah.
And so, we closed 55 homes, by the end of this month. So that's a pretty good year for anybody. The industry on average hadn't sold 50% of the industry, and realtors haven't sold a house at all this year.
Yeah.
So I really do feel for them, and even 62% of the realtors either sold one or none. So I feel very blessed that I've been able to sell 55 houses this year, and we're working on some today, but closed before the end of the year. But that's because, I diversified into multiple markets.
Right.
So, and that's one of my plans, one of my goals in the past was to not be bound to one geographical market. So Austin had this amazing run up, of course, in the 2019 to 2022, over 100%, nearly 100% appreciation. But that's only a 2.5 year period, right? That's a lot. And then all of a sudden, of course, we have now, it's been from the peak of mid 2022, it's almost 4 years. Yeah. Sandy, it's been 4 years of, ooh. So now we're down to about 22% and then back up again. But good news is Austin's flat. It's not going up. It's not going down. And we're entering into a new season. Of course, we had the Fed rate cut, right. The big quarter point. Woohoo. We already planned on that happening. And
which was baked in. Which is already baked in. Right.
So people go, wow, interest rates are coming down. It's great for marketing purposes, but it didn't really do much to it. So right. The market already knew and already figured that in there. And now they're looking at, next year is not being so aggressive on rate cuts. And I don't know how short-sighted they are, but in the economy, real estate is 18% of the gross domestic product. So, if they're pulling the rug out of the air out of the market by not having affordable interest rates, then, we're in for more times of being able to get buyers off the fence to be able to, to start the whole market. And that's kind of what started as the market is relatively stagnant. That's what got me going back in the Great Recession. That I wrote my first book in 2000. It was finished in 2010. And it was called Home Buying Secrets. And the reason I did that was because I realized after this big apocalypse in the mortgage market, all the houses were foreclosed. You've heard all the news and the short sales. It was a tough time for anybody in the business. Is that I really was looking forward to the future, and I was like going, what brings the market back? What starts the whole cycle of the market of people buying? And you know what it is? It's people that want to get out of their apartments or their rent houses and start and buying their own house. And this put me on the map way back in the 90s was in the mid-90s, I started a home buying crash course. And the home buying crash course was just basically teaching people, especially first-timers, but move-ups as well, the process of being able to purchase a home. And nobody was doing it. Nobody was teaching home buyers. So they're very scared, tentative, and all that kind of stuff. They don't know what they don't know. Mm-hmm. They don't even know who to trust. Right. And so that was like an open, for me, it was an open market because no one was helping them. No one was helping them fix their credit or whatever. So I would come in, teach them how to do that, guide them along the way, and it exploded to being able to help thousands of families through these home buying crash courses. And those are our local ones that we're doing with local builder. Brohn Homes is sponsoring me to do these courses in their model homes. So what a better atmosphere than to be in a model home. So for 2026, my new announcement is my home buying crash course, my home buying book is being revised because the numbers, all the numbers are in here being updated, and there's some new changes in the laws, buyer's agency, and all that kind of stuff. So I want to make sure it was revised and updated for the next season, for the next 20 years. So it's been 15 years since I wrote that book, and I'm glad to have that my second revision out here. So that's coming out at the end of the year, and then of course we start the home buying crash courses, and so that's what's coming down the pipe for be the last Saturday of January, February, and March out in Cascade, which is a brand new community in Liberty Hill. Brohn Homes has homes starting in the 250s in Liberty Hill, ISD, which is unheard of in the high-tech corridor.
Sure.
So, and also a great time for first-timers or investors. So I'm excited about that. And let's talk a little bit about the market here. and what's going on in Austin. And so, as we do every time we do this, hey, Sandy, it's been 6 years since we've been doing this podcast.
I was thinking about that. It has. It's been 6 years since we started doing this. We've put out a lot of good stuff.
So we started about a year before pandemic started, and then after pandemic started, it was like. We had to be the voice of reason. Calm down, everybody.
I remember we were looking for silver linings.
The silver lining. Yeah, what happened? So, and who would have known? I thought, I'm usually a good predictor of markets, but when I heard the world shutting down, I was like going, well, then they're not going to be buying houses, right?
I was right there with you.
I'm like
the same thing.
I better, and we started our management company. It's like, well, at least we can manage them because they're going to live something. But so it was like the opposite happened. The gates opened up, and I happened to be well positioned because of my relationships with the Bay Area and Southern California, East, and high tech and medical, and so it was sold over 500 houses in a short period of time since pandemic, and so I'm totally blessed there. And I know it's just. Be at the right place at the right time. And that's kind of what my clients are depending on me, is to be at the right place at the right time.
What's the old saying that success lies at the intersection of preparation and opportunity?
That's a great saying.
Yeah.
And so you got to get prepared for 2026 for whether you're going to be an investor or first-time home buyer or even our realtor friends. I mean, it's you got to look for multiple streams of income. And I just did a teaching on that with the Tom Ferry organization. They've allowed me to be one of their webinar presenters and teaching agents how to create multiple streams of income. And I'll be sending that out to my Tom Ferry friends as well. Coming up, next year we have multiple presentations. But let's talk about the market, what's going on stat-wise. Right now in the Austin Round Rock MSA, we're looking at a median price of $439,000 for the 5-county area. That's basically flat, up about 1.4% from last year. The closed sales are down almost 10%, 2,238, which is not really good news. That the closed sales are down by 10%. And then we have 3,607 new, which is up 7.9%, almost 8% up. And then this is a big step. The listings available that are on the market are up 12.4%. So from last year at this time, 13,000. So that and then we're at 5.3 months. We're basically at a buyer's. We know we're in a buyer's market. And some of these other numbers will tell that. 76 days on the market average sales time, which is not bad, 2 months, a little over 2 months. But this is the number that I have to talk to my seller seriously about, which is the 92% closed sale to close ratio. In other words, you list it, the list price is $1 million. The average offer closing is 92% of that, or $920,000. That's 8% or $80,000, even if it's priced right. So $500,000 house, you're looking at below 8%. So you're basically going to be looking at 460 is the average closed ratio price. I mean, some of them are even more, taking more of a hit. I say it this way: it's the buyer's time now. We've been 13 years of a seller's market, 13 years of them sellers beating up on home buyers and just charging them whatever they want and being very arrogant. And I kind of laughed during the peak of the arrogance because I've been through booms and busts in 4 different states in 4 different decades. And I walk in and the way they would treat you sometimes was so demeaning, whether it be an agent or just because we had the product and you have to pay our price or more. And if you don't like it, we're going to sell it to somebody else for more. And it was just like, it's just the arrogance, and now they're all humbling themselves. They're all coming to me.
I have to.
They're going to have to. Yeah. So excited. Also, taking a look at the lease market. It's right now the average is lease for a single family home in Austin is $2,150. That's for the median price is $439. The median rent's $2,050, and that's down 2%. And here's why: because people can't sell, then they put them on the lease market. So we have quite a bit of more inventory than we're used to having on the lease market because people have great interest rates on those. We encourage people, especially bought in the last 3 years, hey, if you don't need to sell and you don't want to take a big hit, because you're going to take a big hit, and just heard that 92%, and beyond. Then you need to rent and then wait this market out, and there's good tax reasons to do that if there is any gain someday on it. But a lot of people are conceding. In fact, they're not even trying to put it on the market. So Ken, I already know. I've already looked around. let's just go ahead and put it on the lease market and get through this next season. So that's what we encourage people to do. I'll also be doing a class on January 7th, a webinar. My Power Goals book. It's a good time of year. I did the 12 steps to making your dreams come true. This learning how to teach. I learned how to do power goal setting back in the early 80s with Brian Tracy and all those great, and it changed my life. So I'm teaching it now. So
cool.
Yeah. All right. So back to the market. Austin's been pretty much flat, but our other markets are doing great. I mean, we're having so much fun, right? So from San Antonio, New Braunfels, all the way to Temple, Texas, and then now North Dallas. Now I've already done a full webinar on this. So I don't want to talk a whole lot about all these things. I know it will be in the YouTube links in the comments. I'll have that full webinar, which talks about the Texas Triangle, which is the Texas Triangle's Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, and San Antonio, Austin, and we're focusing on that west leg of the Texas Triangle, which is San Antonio through Dallas and beyond. So we're looking at the North Dallas area is just absolutely blowing up, and there's a huge wealth, a lot of high tech wealth in the anybody that knows North Dallas, the Prosper, the Planos, the Friscos, those are areas have always been a big magnet for high-tech companies and their high-tech workers. But those are not areas we can afford to invest in. So I went and did some research, and we've been working on it for several months, and then also pulling in my colleagues to be able to help to navigate the what's available, what actually works. And in that research, we really came up and found one of the most exciting opportunities is a very small community called Sherman, Texas.
Oh, I know it.
You know Sherman?
Sure.
You've been to Sherman.
I've been to Sherman. My mom's from Wichita Falls. It's not far from.
Okay, so you've been through Sherman.
Through Sherman,
it's like you've been through Round Rock. You've been through Temple, right? So you got to stop and smell the roses sometimes.
True.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anything about Sherman except I've been there once. A little funny sidebar is there was a movie. My kids were childhood actors, and so they got put in as extras on a movie. I forget even the name of the movie, but Glenn Powell was the star of the movie. It was right when he got started. Wow. And so it was like, I didn't know who Glenn Powell was, but all the people there did, and was like, oh, well, and I actually got in the movie too. It was pretty fun. But that was 6.5 hour drive for me to get up to Sherman, Texas. And it was like, okay, kids, you better enjoy this.
Right.
So yeah, but that's why I have my colleagues up there, because we have to have boots on the ground management company and all that kind of stuff. But Sherman, Texas, little town, about 50,000 people. Remind me when I found New Braunfels about 2017, about almost 10 years ago, where I found this little town, like, there's something cool about this town that's really cool. And that's what people come to me for, because I find these really good pockets. And New Braunfels is now the poster child of places people wanting to move to, the cool places. And Sherman, a little bit different, a little small cattle town, just south of the Oklahoma border, about 45 minutes north of McKinney. But they have Texas Instruments and Global Wafer. Global Wafer just put a huge chip manufacturing facility doing, 300 millimeter chips? Oh, I don't even know. But the bottom line, a wafer facility. There's about a $4 billion investment there. And Texas Instruments building 4 fab factories. One is already up and running. And each one of those factories, the total investment for Texas Instruments can be close to $40 billion. Wow. They're building 4 fab factories. And these are not like data centers, where once the data center is up and running, you got a couple hundred people working it, if that, 150, 110 people in a big giant building. It's just babysitting the computers. These are manufacturing, like the big Samsung plant out in Taylor. Mm-hmm. These are high paying jobs. They are, and there's a lot of people working at these facilities. And the town is only 50,000 people, and there's only a few subdivisions that are even available, and they're selling, and the rents are through the roof. And they're not going to be able to keep up with the growth, unfortunately. But in the meantime, that's an opportunity for us. Starting in the below 220,000 for a brand new house, 1,500 square, same prices as our other submarkets. But our rents are like between $17, $18, even $18.50 for that same $220,000 house. Mm-hmm. So we're pretty excited about that. Just wish they had more homes available. So I just did a podcast with my colleague up there, which I'll also put into the comments of the of this YouTube video, so that you can also see that experience of what we really did a deep dive on that North Texas, from McKinney to Plano to Anna to Salina, all those areas, Prosper. We covered it all and really boiled it down. The niche that I have is knowing where to throw the dart. Finding the right place, and then having our team of network of help to be able to facilitate everything from start to finish, turnkey, right? And one thing I warn our clients to is, don't go to the website, the Lennar, the D.R. Hortons, or the Pulte's website, and start a conversation with the online representative or the chat bot, because they're going to assign you to some agent that we don't know and doesn't know us and doesn't know how we work with investors and how we've got a system in place and we have everything like a well-oiled machine. Once you get out of that system, it's really hard. You can't do this very easily from a distance. Sure, you can buy a house from a distance, but all the rest of it, you need the leasing, the management, the marketing, all that kind of stuff. You have to get involved with our network of help. So don't go online and start conversations, or even call on-site agents that don't know us, because we have our selected agents that know us, provide us inside inventory lists. I've got lists on every one of these projects, inside inventory lists that we get on a daily basis. We're combing through them, finding the good deals, watching the market, the way they do their algorithms on their pricing, and then snap it up when we find a good deal. So that's kind of what we're going in 2026. We're still doing great with the investors, but now we're going to bring our first-time home buyers back. The great thing about this for me is that it's the same product, entry-level housing. We're still 4 million houses short, according to NASA Association of Realtors. We're not caught up from not building enough houses in the last 10 years. So the bottom line is that we still have, even though it sounds like we have an affordability problem and we have a housing shortage. So we're here to help solve those problems.
All right, man. It's always good seeing you.
All right, Sandy, it's Kenn Renner, real estate broker. I want to work with you. 512-423-5626. I'll see you at the top, Sandy.
Happy New Year.